I just need to turn on the screen there. How's it going, guys? Good to see you in here. So just for everyone that doesn't know, this is typically a stream just for the people that are in the $20 tier and up, but I did send it out to everyone just for a split second, actually by accident, but I had been saying that we were going to do that and allow some other people to get in on it. So I said that like every once in a while we would allow that. So yeah, I think today's as good a day as any other one, but I was going to do that like once every month or two, and we hadn't done it yet. So, you know, for everyone that's joining in, welcome. Usually, again, like I said, just for like 5 or 10 people, they're in the $20 one, and we do it twice a month for half an hour. So I think we'll have some people probably filtering in as time goes on. Maybe I'll open this up to the whole group after like 25 to 30 minutes when we would normally be done with the normal one just for the $20 people. So I'll go through some of the messages just for anyone that doesn't know how this works. Typically talk for 20 to 30 minutes, depending on what the questions are. There are a lot of people in here compared to normal. Usually it's just 5 or 10 people. So we'll probably be going for the full 30 minutes. And you guys can ask me whatever you want. Just keep in mind, if you're asking me about individual stocks I haven't looked at before, then it's going to take a lot longer, and it might not be great for the whole group. So just keep that in mind. So I'll just go through these. How's it going? Everyone saying hey. Let's go through some questions. Aaron says, you have a 401k with Fidelity. Is that a Roth or traditional? Is that because you're now self-employed? Yeah, so I have a traditional solo 401k at Fidelity. I had a Roth before. I'm not going to be able to qualify for Roth this year in an IRA. I haven't looked at the 401k rules, but I am doing a solo 401k, so it's for my new business just because I need some tax advantages because I'm going to be making a decent amount of income this year, so I want to protect some of it. Cicero Gamer, how's it going? Good to see you. Tell me about them stonks, Sam. Yeah. Alex said he just bought it yesterday. Appreciate that. Thank you for joining. Nice haircut, Mike says. Thanks. It was much needed. Definitely something that had to be done soon. Now, I'm using StreamYard just to let you guys know. So sometimes it takes a second for the messages to pop up, and then I get like 5 of them. So hopefully I don't miss anything, but I think we should be good. Thoughts on COUV? So this is something that a lot of people have been asking about. I did update. I didn't like fall off the side of the map or anything with COUV. I did do a couple updates on COUV. So basically, the day after we bought it, it came out that the SEC was going to look into them. I had actually talked with the CEO of Carbon Ion the day before on email. So I had talked with him, and he had no idea this was happening. So it really kind of, I don't think they were expecting it, which I think is a good thing, first of all, because it means that they weren't like they didn't have anything that they thought they were doing wrong. I heard from kind of inside sources afterwards that it was BS, and that they didn't know why they were targeting them. I've heard some conspiracy theories on why that is, but I don't think all hope is lost. I think I sent you guys the press release on what they said afterwards, that they already have lawyers that are sending them all the information, and basically they think it's BS, that none of it's, or that what they've said is all correct. So I'm hopeful. I'm not really super worried about it, but obviously it's nothing that you ever like to see. Other people have been asking me whether I will sell out right when we can trade again, assuming we can trade, and I'm not going to sell out right away. I think if they clear it up and allow them to trade again, I think that's a really good sign that there's probably not a big problem there. TTOO and TMDI have been quiet. Are you holding these long? So I updated you guys. It was at the end of a long post on some other stock, but I sold TMDI just to make room for the other stock that I was buying, and this was just this week. But it's nothing against TMDI. It's just I hold a lot of different penny stocks, so I wanted to clear up some room, clear up some cash for a different company. So, but I am holding TTOO. I think Sen's could do quite well. You're asking if it's going to be the next BNGO. I don't know if it will be the next BNGO because I think BNGO is still the next BNGO. Like, so many people are still excited about that one that I'm not sure we'll see something else move up 10x. Now, if they get their 180-day, if they get that approved by the FDA, I think that will be big. And I think that could send up the stock price a lot. Also, if there are some other things that they could do that could send the stock price up. I actually have a video coming out probably after we're done here, just talking about all the different companies that are in that sector right now that I think could do well. So there are 5 different companies that I already hold. Is there any way to cut down the number of stocks that I'm recommending? Let's see. Sorry, that just flew away. I think, yeah, I mean, I try to be a little bit cautious with how many stocks I'm talking about. The problem is there are a lot of stocks that are doing well, and like so many different companies are doing well, and they're doing well really quickly. So we buy them and they jump up. And part of that's just that we have a large audience, but like that's the initial bump, right? So like if we talk about a stock and it goes up 20 or 30%, that's great. That's maybe if it's a small market cap, it's just because we talked about it. But if it goes up 100% or 50% and it stays up there, it's not just that I talked about it once or anything like that. So they're doing well. So yeah, I mean, you can be selective. I think that's where like you guys can determine whether you want to hold on to a lot of stocks, whether you want to hold on to less and focus more on them and add over time. And that's where your own research comes in. But yeah, I also get people, I'll post about some penny stock and it does really well like the next day or then over the next couple days. Like people, after I bought Eric and I bought Res F, I like it went up 100% like in a couple days. You guys know that. People were like, oh, I missed that. What's the next one? Like literally the next day, I had a couple people ask me that. I'm like, I'm not a machine here, but you know, some people just always want the next one. I think a lot of people are literally just buying, selling after it jumps, and then looking for the next one that I talk about, selling and just rolling it over and over. Nicholas says something about a trading course recommendation or to learn to find good investments. So I'm not doing a course or anything like that. I have a course coming out on YouTube, but not on trading stocks. I find it hard because it's so in depth. Like it's taken me years to be able to tell kind of what's going on. The best recommendation I can have for you is to like spend a lot of your time on. I used it on YouTube, but if you want to read books, you can. I just think that they're slower than doing it on YouTube, and just spending a lot of time learning about stocks and the economy and stuff like that. I think you'll pick it up over time. It's just hard to say, oh, do this, this, and this, and then it will work because things always change. When is the next BNGO coming? That's a good question. I'm always looking for it. So exciting to know that someone is helping you with SPACs. No one has been talking about the merge of NEBC and Rover. Yeah, I haven't talked about that. I saw it, but I haven't really looked into it too much. Thoughts on CCIV? High risk, high reward right now because it went from like 35 to 40, just like that. And it's very high risk, high reward. If they come out and announce that they're not merging, or they just don't announce it for a long time and then it falls through or something, I think we could probably see like a $15 to $20 stock again. But if they merge, I think it's going to go up to 60 or 80, right? Like within probably an hour or two after it happens. I am Ray says, thanks for the stock recommendations. You are welcome. Happy to do it. What's the best platform to open a Roth IRA and long-term investments like that? Haven't looked much into it. So I like M1 Finance. If you're really focused on long-term plays and maybe you want to like hamper yourself almost a little bit, like not be able to trade in and out of stocks. I know some people like do that with their savings account and their checking account, right? They put money in their savings account so that way they just can't access it. They don't look at it. If you want to do that, you can use M1 Finance. I really like that one. That's where I have my Roth IRA because it only allows you to trade once a day. So Most of the time that's good. I haven't really had an instance where I tried to get in and out of a stock because, again, these are like long-term plays for me, like Tesla, Store Capital, index funds, stuff like that. So you can definitely check that out if you're interested. I think there is a link down in the description if you want that. Otherwise, you can use Fidelity or something like that, or Fidelity allows you to access a lot of stocks too. Just to keep in mind too, M1 Finance doesn't allow you to get into like a lot of the penny stocks. What are the best stocks to buy next week? That's a good question. I think it all depends on price action and news. So I don't have anything that I'm looking at Monday or Tuesday, I guess, because Monday, obviously the market's closed for the U.S. holiday. But I don't have anything that I'm like I'm definitely going in on Tuesday. There are one or two stocks I don't want to talk about them yet because I'm still doing research on them. I'm still trying to decide if they are good values. There's one that's a really small market cap. I'm always just cautious around those because I don't want to talk about one, have it go up 300%, and then have a bunch of bag holders that see it like hours after I talk about it when it's already up so much. And I think it's actually a decent company, but I want to make sure of that before I buy it. I say it's a decent company. I think it's a really good company. What they're doing is really good, but it is small, so I want to make sure that I'm pretty sure on it. Do I have any experience in the financial sphere? Yeah, so I worked in the banking field for a couple of years. Thoughts on HCMC? I have not looked into it since I did a video on it like a week ago. And sorry, I'm getting behind. I'm like 8 minutes behind in the chat. I should look into a backdoor Roth. Yeah, I plan on doing that. I actually was researching that a lot before it was even relevant to me, just because I listen to a lot of finance blogs or podcasts. But I really need to look into that now because that is something that I'll have to do. When do I see a market crash? So I got a lot of flack for my video earlier this week on a market crash. I knew a lot of people would be looking it up, so I wanted to be like the calming person. So they would click in because they were worried about a market crash, and then they'd see that like I was just saying, hey, you can never tell when one is going to be, but these are things that you can do to get ready. And that's kind of what I was trying to do, but I got a lot of flack for it. All I was trying to say was keep some cash around, and then also be well diversified. And a crash is always coming. I mean, I heard some people say to me, oh, there's no crash coming. Well, there's always a crash coming. We don't know if it's going to be like a year from now, 5 years from now, 1 month from now, 10 years from now. We don't know. But I think it's always something that you should keep on your mind because, we are at all-time highs. That's something to keep in mind. So I'm not saying to go out and sell stocks. That was not the point of that video at all. But some people didn't watch the video. They just went to the comment section. Sold Sens and bought Time. Have I made a mistake? I really like Sens long term. Time, obviously, it went down this week, but I really like Sens long term. I mean, it's easier to say that, right? Because it's up a good amount, and you just naturally get some sense of like it's a great stock when you have bought it at a lower price. But I still like Time. It's just I think Time is actually higher risk, high reward because it's got a bunch of trials and stuff like that. Sens is already FDA approved, so kind of is up to you on that one. But I have both of them. Thoughts on ATNF? I can't remember what that is, but I did look at it at one point. I'm not invested though. Am I still holding BTAQ? Let me check. So sorry, I can't remember exactly if I'm holding it. I know I saw out of one or two stocks, and I updated it. I updated you guys on it when it happened. I've not sold out of anything that I haven't told you about. I sold out of a couple ones this week, and I can't remember if this is one of the ones that I sold out of. If I didn't say it, then I still hold it. So I can't see it in this portfolio. Let's see if it's in this other one. Can I do a video on ZOM and JAGX? So I still hold BTAQ, by the way. Can I do a video on ZOM and JAGX? Possibly. I've done videos on both of them before, though. It's just been a while. How about in Pixon, friend? I don't know what that is. What do I think about TTOO? I own it, so Yeah, I like it. Thoughts on ASRT? I've not looked into that one. Sends will be huge, worth holding in my opinion. Yeah, agreed. Um, Opinion on market crash. Should we really hold the stocks? Yeah. So that's what I talked about, right? So uh, I never sell out of all my stocks because I think there's a market crash. That's not something I do because it's too hard to tell. Where do I get my inspiration to start looking into a new stock? So I get a lot of people that reach out to me. Even when people send me research, like it's hard to tell because everything sounds great, right? So usually what I do is I get reached out to about a stock. I respond and stuff like that. But usually, unless multiple people are telling me about it and it sounds interesting, I can't look into them all because like I can't do in-depth research on 20 different stocks a day. I do research on a lot of them, but I need some catalyst coming for me to want to look into it. I need to hear about it. I need to hear a lot of people talking about it because I like I said, I get reached out to about so many individual stocks, and so many sound promising that it's hard to look into all of them, and I can only buy so many too, right? So that's something too. And you got to remember too, I'm not just researching stocks all day. I'm also doing the YouTube side, which takes probably 4 hours, 5 hours just to record everything and put it up. So it's probably split half and half between research and actually making the videos. Thoughts on ACIC? I did a video on it this week. My thoughts haven't really changed. I think it's actually getting to a pretty good price now again because it's below when we bought in. What's my opinion on NNTM? Hasn't really changed since I talked about them last. A lot of these I have done videos on. I know a lot of people don't always see the videos because I post a lot, but I think it's high risk, high reward because they've raised so much cash and they're really the same company they were a couple months ago for the most part. Of course, they have that patent and some other stuff too. So, is tell hold or sell? I don't know what that is. Advice on Zom and JagX, please. I haven't looked into them. When is your girlfriend, or I haven't looked into them in a while. When is my girlfriend going to star in a video? I don't know. So yeah, I don't know when she's gonna start in a video. She said someday she wants to make her own YouTube channel, but it's not gonna be finance related at all. I don't think she'll probably do anything on finance. Probably it's gonna be like lifestyle or beauty or something like that. She's really big into makeup and stuff. Any thoughts on options trading? No, so I don't do any options trading. I want to start buying warrants more, but none of the brokers I have allow them. So I have applied to a platform that allows warrants. If we had been buying warrants this year, especially because I wanted to do that for a couple months, I've just not gotten off my lazy butt and started an account that has warrants. If you guys don't know what warrants are, you can take a look at them with SPACs. They can be really profitable. And I think we would have like doubled or tripled our returns this last year if we had done that with some of these SPACs, right? So not everything we've invested in were SPACs, but since we've been right on so many, they are riskier. I think of them as kind of a mix between options and stocks, like risk and reward ratio. But I don't know. I want to invest in them more, but again, like I said, I just hadn't had the opportunity to. Yeah, we talked about COUV earlier, so you can scroll back to it. Let's see what else. What kind of stocks can we buy for? What kind of stock we can buy for crypto in Canada? So you can look into. Okay, let me pull it up here because ARK Invest owns Grayscale Bitcoin Investment Trust, GBTC. So I'm pretty sure you can just buy that, and it's a trust that tracks Bitcoin's market price. So I would just look into that. That's what they hold. I don't think ARK Invest actually holds any Bitcoin. They just hold this trust, which tracks it. Argo blockchain, heard of it, haven't looked into it. I got an opinion on AYRO? Yeah, so I was looking into this. I heard about Dead Inside buying it before anyone else did. except for their $99 tier. Someone reached out to me and told me about it. I looked into the company. I was doing research when it was flying up because so many people were buying it because he just talked about it. I like it. It's small. It's a small market cap company. If you guys don't know what it is, it's an EV company that has like those, on college campuses, those trucks that have like a bed in the back, and they're like a mini pickup truck mixed with like a golf cart. It's like those, but they're for EV. And I was looking into it. I just thought it was too richly valued because it flew up after he talked about it. So if it falls back down, I think it's going to be nice. I think I might look into it way more seriously. FE Vlog says, when you recommend any stocks look good to jump in, can you please give a hint for when to exit as well so we can hold it a bit longer instead of greedy to sell it early? Yeah, so I try to tell people that I'm long-term or short-term in these stocks. However, I don't like talking about exit prices necessarily because I'm bringing it to so many people. First of all, I don't want people to be like, okay, Sam said buy it at 2, sell it at 3, so I'm going to sell it at 280, and then like everyone starts dumping off early and stuff like that. Also, I don't want to get people thinking like, okay, it goes from 2 to 3, sell it like that day. Like some of these I'm buying long term, and I don't really care about the price action as long as, I care about it in that if Sens went down to $1, I'd be buying a lot more, assuming there's no news. But I don't want to give exit prices necessarily either, because if they move up very quickly, and there's like a lot of good news, like with BNGO, if I had said, okay, buy at 125, I'm going to sell at 5, or I'm going to sell at 2, right? So if we had said sell at 2, we would have gotten a 50% return. We will have lost out on a lot. So I don't want people to see that and then see me or not see my update or something like that. In the end, like if we're up 50%, that's up to you guys if you want to sell out or if you still believe in the company and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to present valuable companies at the price that they're at. Aside from Disney, what is your best recovery stock? I don't have a lot of recovery stocks, I'll be honest. Store Capital, which is a REIT, IIPR, which is in the, I'm trying to think if I can say this on live stream. It's in the growing business, but it's a REIT too. It's up like 400%, but that one's pretty richly valued right now. So those are the couple that I've been in, but I haven't looked at a bunch of other recovery plays recently. Any ideas on STPK? Yeah, so I've held it for a while. Q Wang, I've held that one for a while, and I added more when it fell down. What do I think about TNXP? I have not looked in it. Do I think shorts can get control back on BNGO? Maybe. But I think BNGO will keep on having catalysts that push it up. SRNE opinion. I can't remember what this one is. Let me look it up real quick. And I'm sorry because we're a little bit behind. Sorrento Therapeutics. I had looked into it at some point, but I don't remember what I thought. I just have so many stocks that I should honestly write down or like record videos for what I think, just even if it's something short. But I don't do that now if it's something that I don't like or something that I haven't invested in or thought really highly of. Okay. You're down 7% on ACIC. Is it long-term or swing play? I think it's longer term. I mean, they just announced, right? They just announced their merger this week. I'm holding it long-term. If it keeps falling, I'll probably add more. Someone that I hold in pretty high esteem too, invest in it with me. And then someone that he holds in high esteem that knows ARK Invest, he's not part of ARK Invest or something like that. They were positive on it, but they're like friends with Kathy Wood, and he was really positive on it. Someone that, so it's my friend's friend. My friend holds that guy in really high esteem too. So some big money kind of being thrown at it here, I think. Am I worried about Blue Sky or am I confident in the stock? I'm confident in Sens also. CLSK, what are we thinking for the upcoming weeks? Hard to tell. Their Q4 results came out and they left a little bit to be wanted, is that the phrase? I forgot. They weren't as great as some people thought. However, they only had their Bitcoin mining operation up for 21 weeks in that period, or for 21 days in that period. And they are expecting to ramp that up pretty quickly here. So I don't think it's too bad. CLO V stock, I haven't looked into in a while. Can I ask what your return in what was in 2020? So it's hard because I invested so much more money. Like for someone that had $1 million and maybe invested like 20,000 throughout the year, it's really easy to tell about what your average was. However, like my investing portfolio, I only had, I think 10K or 20K at the beginning of 2020, because I'd been paying off a lot of student loans. But it's over 100K now, and that's just because I've thrown a lot of money at it, and I keep on throwing more money at it. But looking at some of the returns, again, like Tesla went up 400% for me. BNGO went up 1,000% just over the last couple of weeks. I think it's, again, it's so hard to tell. All my portfolios though are up, except for the newest one, are like up 60 to 70%. But I added a lot to them later, so it kind of throws off because some of my, like Fidelity is up 20%, but I've only had it for a month and a half, so it's hard to tell exactly. But I'd say it's really good, along with a lot of other people's, to be honest. But I didn't invest in any options or any warrants either, so warrants would have put it up even higher. I don't hold BIOL. I've seen some people talk about it, but by the time I saw it, it was already up a good amount. $1 million stock trader, nice to have you on. Alex says HUTMF is an awesome Bitcoin mining company in Canada. Nice. What's the most slept on stock in the market based on your opinion? I guess it depends on whether you're talking mega cap or small cap or what. Alibaba, obviously, pretty deep. It is. Facebook hasn't gotten a lot of love recently. Disney has been getting a lot of love, but still has a lot of potential, I think. But I mean, I think some of the most slept on stocks are the ones that are SPACs that are just not valued very high. Like either they haven't announced who they're merging with, and they're sitting around $10 to $11, which hopefully, like I said, because we have that guy that's going to help us on that side, hopefully we'll get more of those. Or, you know, some SPACs that are in that phase where they announced, but now they've fallen back down, but now they're gearing up to merge. I think if you can pick up a SPAC that's got a good management team around 1050, there's very little downside. Like we talked about the one yesterday. I bought it at like 1072 or 1073 or something. It went up to like 1150 right away, then back down. I think some people probably just sold it right after they bought it. But you know, anytime you can get that and just sit on it for a few months, I know it's not like a 100% return in a week usually, but if you can sit on that and they announce anyone, right, they're probably going to $12 to $13 to $14, and that's a 20 to 30% return probably in 3 to 6 months, and you did nothing. You didn't have to worry about it. So I think those are slept on, honestly, because everyone's wondering about penny stocks right now. How about altcoins? I haven't looked into them too much. I hold Ethereum and Bitcoin. That's it. I haven't even gotten into Dogecoin or anything like that. What do I think about CCIV? I talked about that one earlier. Same thing with AYRO. Do I think Palantir is a buy right now? I haven't looked into Palantir recently, but I liked it. It had just gone up a lot. Bro just says, how are you doing? How's your life? It's good. A little bit more stressful over the last like month or so, just because like there's a lot. I've been investing in more penny stocks, so it's a little bit riskier. A lot of people are buying blindly, which I don't like. I want people to do their research, but there's just more pressure when that happens. What do I think about Blue Sphere? I've not looked into it. When are you doing a family collab video with my brother? We had talked about that recently. We had talked about that like a week ago. I'd like to do one soon. It's hard because he's still working a full-time job, but I mean, it's not that hard. We could do it on the weekend or something. So hopefully soon. Any thoughts on stocks like TRXC, NAKD, CTRM, and Sundial? I've talked about the first three, I believe, in videos before. Sundial, I have not talked about. So you can look through the main channel if you want for those. Do I take part in IPOs? Generally not, just because by the time I buy in, they're up. Like this year, they're up like 100-something% by the time you can buy in. I'm hoping to be able to buy into some IPOs or some pre-IPOs. I know someone that has access to that. So I'm hoping to jump on a couple of those. You need to be an accredited investor though. So that's the difficult part. I'm not one yet. I will be in the future, maybe by the end of the year. So hopefully I can get into some of those pre-IPOs, which are pretty exclusive, but we'll see. What are other apps with cheap fees? So WeBull, Fidelity, M1 Finance, none of those have fees for trading or like maintenance fees or anything like that. Of course, like do your research because who knows, there could be something buried. So I don't want to be held on the line, but I don't get feed at all for those. Do I think that Wall Street Bets is hurting the market? I don't think so. I think it's probably actually helping because more people are interested in buying stocks. Like people that don't know anything about the stock market. Yeah, I think we're back on. Let me know if we are. I don't know why I went out for a second. What do I think about NPA? I think it's probably a little bit risky at $20, to be honest. Any chance? Cicero Gamer says any chance of doing a 0 to 100K challenge? Maybe. So I'm guessing you're talking about more like a 10K to 100K, like go from $10,000 and try to raise it to 100. Maybe when I can get warrants. Like I said, I'm gonna use that stock app. They're the platform that allows me to invest in warrants. I think that would be more likely. But if you're investing in normal stocks, like I've had people ask me about that before, like other YouTubers. I think it's really hard unless you're doing something really risky to go from to 10x a portfolio over a year. Like some of the best people from last year weren't close to that. Like last year was one of the best years ever. And people were doing like 100, 200, 300%. And that's still investing in some options. So I don't know if I really want to practice that kind of investing. I mean, maybe, but like without investing more along the way, throwing more money into it, it's really hard. And I don't, like I said, like so many people follow blindly. I don't know if I want to say like, oh, I bought $1,000 worth of this option or something, because first of all, I'll just get tons of people asking me how to do that. What's the point of that? And then if it goes poorly, people will lose out on a ton of money and not be interested in the stock market. So I don't know, maybe with warrants, but maybe I can look at GLPG, biotech company with one product on the market. The stock is now cheaper than the cash the company owns. Interesting. So usually that's a red flag. I mean, in theory, that sounds great, but there's a reason that people don't like it still. So I'm cautious about that. But if everything checks out, usually that's a good thing, I guess. Now is a good entry point for Neo and Tesla. If you can get Tesla under $800, I think it's pretty good. On Webull, you can buy IPO. Yeah. So I just don't like to because a lot of the time the IPO price will jump like 100% by the time that like people put buy orders and jumps way up. So can I explain warrants and options? So I don't do options trading too much. Basically, you buy the option, and there are a bunch of different parts to this. But you buy the option to buy a stock at a certain price, and you pay a lot less, but you have to pay a premium to do that. Warrants, you pay for the ability to buy like a SPAC at, I believe it's 11.50. So $11.50. So you might pay like $1 to buy to have the option to buy a SPAC at $11.50. So let's say you pay $1 for that, and I'll just pull out my calculator. I think this will probably help some people. But again, you can't do it on Webull. You can't do it. They'll show it on Webull. You can't do it on Fidelity. So let's say you buy 1,000 warrants at $1. You spent obviously $1,000. Let's say the stock price goes up to $12.50. That means that you're paying $1,000 to buy a stock at $11.50. So that's your break even price. So let's say the stock price then goes up to $15.50, right? And you're able to the warrants, let's say, also go up. They usually go up in a similar manner, but they're not always the same. But let's say the warrants, you're buying the opportunity to buy the stock at $11.50. Let's say they go up to, and this won't always be the case, but let's say they were $10.50. You bought the warrants for $1. I'm just trying to do the mental math here. Let's say they go up to $15.50. It was $1. Now they're $3 per warrant. You've tripled your money, and the stock price has only gone up like 50%. So that's kind of how it works. But again, it's not an exact science or anything like that. So keep that in mind. Thoughts on GSAT? I looked into it a while ago. Some potential catalyst, but I'm not buying it at this point. Quinn, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. What website or tool do I use to do my research? I use a couple different things. I use WeBull to get news. I use StockTwits to get the stocks that are jumping up a lot, or to get like news faster, because sometimes articles haven't covered what's happening yet. I use Google. I use investor presentations from the companies. Chan says, I just bought your Patreon yesterday. It will help a lot. Is it too late to buy CCIV? I think that one's pretty high risk, high reward right now. If you really think they're going to go through the merger, which I do, then you could buy it and it'll probably go up. But I wouldn't be buying right now if it was me at this point. Cicero, or I think I'm saying your name right. I know you've corrected, or you've told me this before, but I think it's Cicero. I appreciate that. Thank you for the nice message. And I think I'm going to go a little bit longer for you guys. I do want to change this though. I want to include the whole Patreon here for about 10 minutes. And then I'm going to open it up to my other to my YouTube channel for another 10 minutes. So I'm just going to post this real quick. Live stream if anyone wants to join. Okay, I'm just going to share this, and then I'm just going to make it public after that, 10 minutes in. So I appreciate all you guys getting in here. Again, like, we do this for the $20 tier. So if anyone wants this, we do this twice a month. And like I said, we do it for half an hour, and they're usually only 5 to 10 people in here. So like, I can answer all the questions like right off the bat. It's almost like we're having a conversation just over like you messaging me and then me giving you responses back. So in case any of you guys want to try it out, you can. But otherwise, I appreciate all you guys jumping on. It's gonna get bigger here, so I probably won't see your questions as much. But so for everyone that's just jumping in now, good to have you here. We just did a live session with some of the people in the $20 tier. So the $20 tier, the only difference between the $10 and the $20 is that you get access to 2 live streams a month for about half an hour. Usually there are only 5 to 10 people in there, but today we had a little bit more in there. But good to have everyone in here, everyone jumping in from the Patreon and the Discord. I'm going to open this up after about 10 minutes, I think, just to my whole YouTube audience. But I wanted to say hey to you guys first too, because I appreciate you guys. So we'll answer some questions here. And then, like I said, I'll open it up to the whole YouTube channel here in about 10 minutes. People are talking about a market crash. Is it possible? Yeah, I mean, it's always possible, right? But the question is it probable, and what to do? So I know I scared a lot of people with my video this week. That was not my intention. I knew people would be looking for market crashes because the market was down for the first time in like 3 or 4 days. And I had people asking me like, how much cash should I hold? So I wanted to be the voice of reason, but apparently I don't think a lot of people watch the video and they just start like hating on the video. But basically I talked about how you never know when a market crash will happen. And I told you guys like what I hold in cash or what I think should be held in cash. If you want to keep some around just in case there is a crash. And I said, I don't ever sell out of all my stocks. I don't like to do that. Trying to bet on a market crash because usually you're not right. So I just believe in diversification and keeping some cash held around. Finance, how's it going? Finance AP. Baja says, how many transactions can you make on WeBull? I think there might be a limit, but I don't remember off the top of my head for like day trading. But I could be wrong. Kuba, how's it going? Carlos, you're welcome. Aryan says, Sam, could you please check out XL Fleet? So I've looked into it before. I haven't looked into it in a while. I know they actually have some pretty good revenue, but I haven't looked into it since I did my original video. What's the main risk on CLSK? Whether that short seller report is truthful or not is the main risk. How is it possible to trade options in an IRA account? So I don't trade options, but I'm guessing you just have to. First of all, I'll be honest. Since I don't trade them, I don't know if you can. But if you can, it's probably just based on what broker you have. That's what it usually is with different platforms. And you have to make sure that you allow it, because sometimes you have to go through like a process of applying for it. Timbo says, can you explain more how to pick a good dividend stock? Sure. So I've done videos in the past. I won't cover them as much anymore. People don't generally watch the videos that much. But how can you pick a good dividend stock? Well, a couple things I look for. First of all, is the company good in general, right? I mean, just like any other stock, you want to make sure that it is in a good cash position. It's got good free cash flow. So that's something, I mean, again, I'm just going to cover it real quick. So you'll have to do more research, but I don't want the payout ratio to be too high. So what's their free cash flow? How much of it is going to dividends? I want to make sure that they're growing it over time. And I want to see what their competitive advantage is. And I know some people are like, oh, this stock has a 10% dividend. It's a great stock. That's not necessarily the case, because it doesn't matter if it's got a 10% dividend if it goes down 20% a year or something like that. Sorry, been talking a while. Do I think the market will go through a correction soon? Probably. I mean, I think we go through corrections, every 2 years, and then a crash every 10. So yeah, I mean, we're due for a correction sometime soon, but I mean, a correction can be like a week or 2 weeks of going down. So I don't think it'll be that big a deal. If there is a correction, it's going to be great, because we're going to be able to jump in and buy more stocks. Unless you're getting ready to retire this year or something like that, it's probably a fine time for a correction or a crash or anything. Curious what your my 5-year plan with personal and portfolio goals. Isaac, I'll be honest, it's changed so much because my income has gone up so much. If I thought about doing an income report recently, I might do that, because I used to do them all the time, like every month. If I do what I did the last couple months, I'll be retired in the next few years, or be financially independent. I probably won't retire or anything like that, but my goal is to be financially independent within the next 2 years, like and be very financially independent. So hopefully that's what happens. And that's really without any portfolio gains. That's just based on how much cash I'm bringing in. I'm going to be paying a lot in taxes though. Man, it's going to suck. But it's a good problem to have, I guess. If I had to give one piece of advice for a novice trader, what would it be? Listen to a lot of finance videos, or research a lot. So number one advice is just to learn a lot, because if you really like it, like I really liked finance, and it wasn't even individual stocks at first. It wasn't even individual stocks until about a year ago, where I got really interested in those. I was just interested in financial independence in general, and finance and stocks and index fund investing and all things like that. I was in it for years, and like, instead of listening to music when I would go to and from work or to and from my girlfriend's house, it would be YouTube videos from Graham Stephan, from Meet Kevin, stuff like that. What's the percentage of cash I keep? So mine is really high right now, because I'm going to have to buy a home in cash, because my income is so new that they won't give me a loan for it. So I'm going to have to pay for it in cash. So mine's really high, but in the future, I predict I'll probably be keeping like 15 to 20% cash. CPSH looks promising. Yeah, I agree. It's been pushing up so much because of Dens. I talk about it. Please check out NGA. Okay, yeah, I know. I saw the news on it, but I haven't really looked into it really in depth. What's my idea about NPA? It seems to be a great stock. Yeah, so I bought it a while ago. I think it might be a little bit high right now, but I mean, it's just that there are a lot of possible stocks that have a lot of growth potential out there. So it's always like a risk reward thing. Do you want to buy it when it's up a good amount? Would I hold Eric long? Maybe. I might be selling it out soon though, just to clear up some cash. I mean, we're up like 50, 60%. So Packer is great for dividends. Yeah, so I like Packer because it's a growth stock and it has dividends. Have I looked into SOS any further? Not since I looked into it the first time. Can we have your thoughts on PSILO? I don't know how to pronounce that. Stocks and legalize psycho bin stocks and legalization during Biden administration. Yeah, I think weed stocks will do pretty well. What about the short seller risk clove? I've heard some people say that it's overblown. I think Denside said that, and then someone else said it too. I forgot who it was. Someone famous investor. So I don't know. I haven't looked into Clover since I sold it a while ago. Can we invest in XLM? I mean, sure. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I haven't looked into it though. Isaac, appreciate the kind words there. Do I do this full time? Sammy asks. Yes, I do. I quit my day job in November. Oh, it's crazy to think that November, December, January. Yeah, we're coming up on 4 months. That's crazy to think about. What do I think is the future of HCMC? It depends if they win the lawsuit. I did a video on it a while ago though. If I only had to own 3 stocks, what would they be? I actually did a video on it, I think last week on that. I think it depends on your risk tolerance. What price am I selling Ascends at? I don't have a price in mind. It's too easy to set a price and then miss out on a lot because you said you would sell at a certain point. What price am I going to sell BNGO at? Same thing. It's like I'm not going to set a price on it because my opinion is always updated. Now I'm gonna share this to to my other YouTube audience. The first half hour was just for the Patreon members, like in the tier that's supposed to have video. Then I wanted to open it up for everyone for like 10 to 15 minutes. But now I just want to open it up to my general YouTube audience too. I'm just gonna take 1 second to do that. And we'll probably be on for like another probably 5 minutes or so. No, 10 minutes, sorry. We'll be on for like another 10 minutes. In case any of you guys are interested in that, we do it twice a month usually. But I'm just gonna open it up to my group for 1 second, or to my YouTube channel. So I'll get to the questions in just a second here. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna post this here. So anyone that hasn't followed this channel, if you want to follow it, I post some different content on here. You can definitely check it out. Again, like it's a little bit less stock oriented, like individual stock oriented. Sometimes I do post on individual stocks, but some of it's just like reacting to stuff. And I haven't posted on here in a while. A lot of what I do here is just like is just for Patreon. It's like a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I keep unlisted. Okay, I've missed some comments here, but let's see. Which other YouTubers do I watch? Good question. So I'll pull up my phone here so that way I can just won't go with them like. So okay, so you said other YouTubers. So let's get into it here because I follow some other ones that aren't finance, but I follow Nerd Explains and Cinema Summary. Both of those are like horror movies trying to beat whatever movie. I also play Bloons, so I've been watching a couple Bloons videos. It's just it's a fun thing to watch, just in general, or a fun game to play. So I'll play it in the background while I play or something. Pretty nerdy there. But JJ Buckner, Meet Kevin, Jack Spencer, Tom Nash, Matt Stoney. No, they're not finance guy, but BitBoy Finance, all of Graham Stephan's channels, Dr. Dean Investing, Financial Success, Tyler Hill, Dead Inside, Brian Chung, Graham Stephan Show, Zip Trader, Richard Allen, Brad Finn, all of Jeremy's channels, the Average Money Podcast, Mark Rober, Invest with Henry, JT Wealth, Mcash, Stock Up with Larry Jones, Daniel Pronk, Andre Jick, Create Something Awesome Today podcast, Trevor Wallace, The Walrus Street, Dumb Money Live, Catherine Manning, Mr. Beast, Joseph Carlson, Michael Reeves, Jakeonomics, Bruce Wang, Positive Investing, Jake Tran, John Paul Investing, ARK Invest, Gary V, Matthew Hugh, Jason Pullen Investing, Vincent Chan, Financial Wolf, Stock Mode, The Stock Pod, You Betcha, Chris Sane, Roberto Blake, $1 Million Stock Trader, John Scholler, Tommy Bryson, Michael on the Mic Clips, On Borrowed Time. I'm almost there. Next Level Life, Investment Joy, Chris Glaze, Optimal Living Daily, New Money, Solving the Money Problem, Kelly Ann Smith, Freedom in a Budget, Clear Value Tax, Minority Mindset, Dealits TV, Ryan Scribner, Emmanuel Finance, Marco Whiteboard Finance, Our Rich Journey, Dividend Growth Investing, $4, Quinvesting, Bruce Wang. Geez, there are a lot of people here. Logan Fisher, Andrew Brown, Jared Morrow, Cash College, Mike Rosehart, Connor Invest, Castillo Finance, Matt Diavella, George Perez, Mike and Lauren, Chicken Genius, Singapore, Dividend, Bloodhound Investing, Duke's Investing, Marisa Lydia, Matt's on Fire, Trevor Hassel, Investing in Personal Finance, Biahiza, Nate O'Brien, Ethan Chase, Vsauce 3, Ellie's World of Stocks. Okay, I can see the end here. True Financials, Bigger Pockets, Erica Kohlberg, Invest the Market, Neo, Dumb Money, Local Boy Finance, and Patty Galloway. Geez, that's a long list. I didn't think it was that long. Am I still holding FAII? I can't remember, honestly. I think I'm sold that. I updated my Patreon, but I can't remember because I have been selling out of a couple. I think I'm still holding it in one of my portfolios. But I have multiple portfolios, so it's kind of hard to keep track of a little bit sometimes, just off the top of my head without looking in there. What stocks am I looking to buy the dip for next week? I think it depends on how much they dip. What are my thoughts on Dogecoin? I actually did a video on it. A lot of hype, but I don't know. Hype can bring something pretty far up. VYNE, Converse stock split. Yeah. Jope says, hey, Sam, hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, too. Hope you're having a good Saturday. GNOG, stock thoughts? I haven't looked into it in a while, so I apologize. A lot of subscribers. A lot OD sub. Yeah, I don't know. BNGO, yeah. BNGO went crazy. So did CCIV. So did DMTK. DMTK was up like, 50% at the beginning of the week. Now it's up 100% for us. Favorite new penny stock? I'm looking into one now, but I have to wait because I'm still doing research. I don't want people to go out and blindly buy it. I'm still researching it. I just started looking at it yesterday. Best tools for stock analysis. I like StockTwits and I like WeBull just for news, both of those for news. And then investor presentations are probably the biggest thing. Just going through their investor presentations, going through their last quarter results and stuff. So many channels. No wonder you're good at what you do. Definitely appreciate that. Yeah, I just watch a lot of finance videos. TTOO seems to have a lot of promise. The stock looks like it wants to take off, but always a pullback the same day it goes up. Any thoughts? Yeah, I like it. I like it long term. I'm doing a video on my main channel on stocks that I think are or some biotech stocks that I have and why I like them. I like TTOO a lot. I've not looked at SUBZ. How long have I been investing? A handful of years in index funds, then just about a year in individual stocks. Oh, I said the date's 2/13/20. Sorry. Yeah, I had updated it from December, and I still think I have January in my head. Am I bullish on CLSK? If everything clears up, yes, I'm still holding my position. I didn't sell off. Elaborate on TTCF. You out completely or partially. I still hold most of it. I had sold a little bit because I wanted to clear up some cash, and because in like institutional investors weren't buying in. So I want to trim my position. I was really bullish on it, but then I started thinking like, okay, institutions don't really seem to be buying. I heard some people that have ties to the inside that said that like they're just not really willing to work with people. So I don't know. We'll see. I actually bought Tattooed Chef brand pizza this week, so we'll see how it goes. I want to try it. I hadn't been able to find it anywhere, but then I did. What's my price target for time? I don't know. It's hard to tell with these penny stocks because they can go up like 100% a day. So I think it's almost useless to put a price target on it. Have I tried Simply Wall Street for analysis? No, I haven't. Am I still bullish on CLSK? Yeah, I am. But again, it's going to ride on whether that clears up. COUV, any plans? No. So for anyone that's just on the channel and not in the Patreon, I talked about COUV. The next day, they went down to the SEC. Like they got taken off or suspended from trading. I actually talked about it earlier in the video before I opened it up to everyone. But I had been talking with Carbon Ion, the company that they're planning on merging with, the day before that came out, and they had no idea. So I think that's a good thing that they didn't think they were doing anything sketchy. But hopefully everything gets cleared up. I heard from the inside after it happened too that it's all BS too, and they put out that press release too. Clean Spark, I am holding it. Thoughts on CCIV? It's higher risk but higher reward right now. If they merge, it's going to go crazy. Any thoughts on Givo? I haven't looked into it in a while. Same thing with FRSX. I did a video on FRSX, I believe, on the main channel. Any thoughts on Tilray? Not really. Same thing with Givo, sorry. Bitcoin and Ethereum are red. Do you recommend getting at this level, or will it go down further? So I don't know if I don't way of knowing what's going to go further. Just with anything, there's no way of knowing. I just am pulling it up now to see what it's actually at, to see what kind of price it is. So yeah, Bitcoin's at 47, Ethereum's at 18. Yeah, they're red on the day, but they were also at all-time highs, I think, yesterday. So I think, if you're looking long-term, if you want to get in on it, I think it's actually a decent time. Have I looked at SOS? Yeah, I have. I talked about it in my Patreon group, but I'm not buying it at this point. Atkin says, still scary to think about the market would react to the news on COUV. Yeah, but my thing is, if let's say they react poorly, but it gets cleared up. Let's say like comes out, SEC says, oh, sorry, we made a mistake, or they just allow it to be traded. Then they didn't do anything wrong. And if they react poorly, if it falls, it's got more potential then, right? Then it just fell because of news that ended up being nothing, but people are worried about it afterwards. If it falls down, let's say, because I bought it at what, like 0.65 and then went up to 0.85 or something like that. Let's say it goes down to like 40 cents. That's going to be great because you're getting it at half the price, assuming everything clears up. Any thoughts on uranium? Ooh, I've not. Yeah. So you're talking about instead of sun or wind. Yeah, I haven't looked into uranium as an investment. Any thoughts on the Atosa? I have not looked into Atosa since I did my video on it. So I apologize. I do research like 3 to 5 hours a day, but I also do the YouTube videos like 5 to 6 hours a day. So it's split usually like 40, 60 doing more YouTube videos because I actually have to make the videos and stuff like that. So I don't get time to look into all these different stocks. And I can't I can't look into all of them. Edkin says I need some rest. Agreed. My girlfriend had to wake up early today because she had to go into work. So I woke up early too. But I already filmed 2 videos before this. And we've been actually live streaming for an hour now. Yeah, so I think we'll probably wrap this up. I apologize. So I did this for my Patreon, right? So I always do this twice a month for my Patreon. We were doing this for half an hour. Then I opened it up to my entire Patreon for 15 minutes, and then just this channel for about 15. But you guys can go back through, and we've talked for an hour now. So if you want to see like my thoughts on CCIV, on COUV, on other stocks too, you can definitely go back. I talked about SENS. I talked about BNGO. People were asking questions. People were talking about this. You can definitely go back and check it out. Any chance to play basketball 1v1 versus with you? Maybe if we ever see each other in real life and we're on a basketball court, I'd definitely play against any of my subscribers. So yeah, definitely. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. I know this was really short, but I did want to open it up just for a couple questions, just to talk with you guys for a couple minutes. And again, like you guys can see all the other stuff too. So I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Oh, I will be posting in a minute here on my main channel.